As we enjoy this afternoon game between Dallas and Nashville, by which I mean I chew my fingernails off in between periods, I wanted to do something kind of quick here for fine people who may not have an interest in this, but may have an interest in how this first round is going. So, just how historic is this? So, I decided, you know what, Shannon, just look over the last 10 playoffs, do this video now, and then at the end of the first round, we can discuss just how historically amazing these playoffs have been in the first round overall. What I found out is over the last 10 years, the playoffs have been wildly unpredictable. I know people say random. I go with unpredictable because you just can't tell necessarily going into a 7-game series who is really going to be the better team. And sometimes in the middle of a series, it changes. Certainly, if you'd asked anybody at the end of the first period between Tampa and Columbus this year in game one and said, well, who's going to win this series? You'd be like, Tampa, look at what they're doing. All right. Last year, we only had one upset, and that was San Jose as the third-ranked team in the Pacific beating the second-ranked Anaheim Ducks. And that was not a huge surprise. Any other first round that took place, the home team in game one won the series. While I was surprised Vegas knocked out LA, they were not a lower seed. 2017, we had three. We had a wild card knockout the number one team in the Atlantic, where the Rangers knocked out the Montreal Canadiens. A wild card knocked out the number one team in the Central. Nashville, of course, swept Chicago. They haven't been back to the playoffs since. Number three in the Central, St. Louis knocked out number two in the Central, Minnesota. And the Central has been the site of a lot of these. 2016, we had three as well. Wild card, New York Islanders knock out number one team in the Atlantic, Florida. Florida did look like a vulnerable team going into those playoffs. Wild card Nashville, again, knocks out number one seed in the Pacific, the Anaheim Ducks. And number three, San Jose, knocks out number two, LA in the Pacific. So number three, San Jose. It's been a good setup for them when they're the number three team. We'll see whether or not they can come back against Vegas as the number two team this year. 2015, you have three. So, three. Number three in the Central, Chicago upsets number two in the Central, Nashville. Not a surprise there. Not really. Wild card Minnesota knocks out number one team in the Central, St. Louis. St. Louis is on the board a lot. Number three in the Pacific, Calgary knocks out number two in the Pacific, Vancouver. Vancouver overachieved that year. Was not a huge surprise when Calgary knocked them out. 2014, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that year. Number three in the Atlantic, Montreal swept number two in the Atlantic, Tampa Bay. Wild card Minnesota knocked out the number one team in the Central, Calgary, or Colorado, I should say. Not Calgary, obviously. Calgary's only on the board once. And that's as the underdog. So 2019's version, they're the favorite, or the home team, anyways, and they get knocked out. But yeah, so Colorado gets knocked out as the number one team in their division that year. Number three, Chicago knocks out number two, St. Louis. Like I said, they're on the board a lot. Number three in the Pacific, LA knocks out number two in the Pacific, San Jose. So San Jose at number two gets knocked out. Going back to 2013, now we're into seeds 1 through 8. And this is the setup that everybody seems to want. And they go, that'll be a much fairer system. There were a lot of upsets under that system. In 2013, the last year this system was employed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upsets in the first round. Number 7, Ottawa knocks out number 2, Montreal. Number 6, New York Rangers knock out number 3, Capitals. Out west, number 7, Detroit knock out number 2, Anaheim. Number 6, San Jose knocks out number 3, Vancouver. Number 5, LA knocks out number 4, St. Louis. 2012, what happens that year? 1, 2, 3. Hey, look, it's 4 of them. Number 7, Capitals knock out the number 2, Bruins. Number 6, New Jersey knocks out number 3, Florida. Number 5, Philadelphia knocks out number 4, Pittsburgh. And then out west, the number 8 LA Kings knock out the number 1 Vancouver Canucks. And I'm probably the only person that wasn't really surprised by that. I appear to be. There are a lot of people who go, well, that was a really huge upset. I didn't think they were playing well going into the playoffs. Anyways, 2011, there was an upset in both East and West, but they were both 5-4. Tampa Bay over Pittsburgh and Nashville over Anaheim. So no real big surprises there. 2010, however, lots of surprises there. Number 8, Montreal upsets number 1, Washington. Before this week's Columbus knocking out Tampa, that to me is the really biggest surprise first round that I can remember. Number 7, Philly knocks out number 2, New Jersey. Number 6, Boston knocks out number 3, Buffalo, which meant Boston had home ice in the second round as a number 6 seed, which felt good until Philly beat us. And we were ahead 3-0. And anyways, number 5, Detroit knocks off number 4, Phoenix in the West. Yes, they were still called Phoenix back then. And so that's your 2010. But in 2009, there's one upset in each side. In the East, you've got Carolina knocking off New Jersey, so 6-3. And the number 8 ranked Anaheim Ducks over the number 1 ranked San Jose Sharks. So, 5 upsets. You have to look at 2013. That's the only time we have 5 of them. 4, that's 2014, 2012, 2010. 3 of them in 2017, 2016, and 2015. 2 of them in 2011 and 2009. And last year's playoffs, we only had 1. And that was San Jose over Anaheim. Every other series went the way it was supposed to, where the home team won. So going into this year, I think I predicted 3 upsets, technically, when you look at who had the higher seed. And I kind of felt like, I'm kind of going out on a limb with a couple of these. I didn't go far enough out, and nobody did. That's why the NHL, their bracket challenge, they have the second chance bracket that's coming out. That's right. If your bracket's busted, you get a second chance. They've never done this before. So many fans got it wrong. 49%, I believe they said, bet on Tampa to win the Stanley Cup. So that's not counting how many people bet on them to make the Stanley Cup final or to make the Final Four, to win it all, 49%. They were the obvious winner. And that's obvious to all of us who'd watched the regular season. And so while this year's playoffs are crazy, the other thing that's weird is we've never seen all 4 division winners go out. We also have never seen, at least going back to 2009, we haven't seen all 3 division winners go out. Because a 1 or a 2 seed is your division winner, back when it's 1 through 8. And, of course, your division winners are denoted here. Division winners, 2 of them went out in 2017, 2016, 2013, 2012, and 2010. We already have 2 of them out. And now we've got the Capitals, and we've got the Predators, and they're both in tight. 2015, 2014, and 2009, we only had 1. And last year and in 2011, we had 0. None of the teams that won their divisions got knocked out in the first round. So when people talk about jinxes and curses and upsets and how we should have seen all of them coming, this is historic. So it is an amazing first round we've seen, and it's going to continue to be kind of amazing. But there you go. Like I said, after this year's round 1 is finished, we will not necessarily revisit this idea, but we're going to take a look at some of the historic upsets that took place and try to place them amongst the all-time shockers. And I'm not talking about for me being surprised, but when you look at number differences and going into playoff series, who really was surprising in that they were not necessarily a great regular season team, but they beat the great team. And I'm talking about like the LA Kings knocking off the Edmonton Oilers in the early 80s kind of upset. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And hey, there's some more madness for you. I'll talk to you again soon.